You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Welcome, people. The Zod and Drea podcast are back.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, so we're here. We're having a good old time. You know, the week has passed. I mean, these weeks go by a lot faster every day. Maybe it's just the summertime and, you know, it's just speeding through.
And look, we are survivors of the 122-degree summer in Phoenix.
Yeah, so Phoenix, Arizona is getting a little hot. We're getting a little solar flares that are scorching the earth right about now.
A little bit.
You know, if Superman was here on Earth, then he would be extremely powerful from the yellow sun because we are getting fried up.
I mean, airport was shut down.
I mean, because of the tires, I think, right? They said
no,
the tires,
it's because the
because
air.
people are dying. That's why.
We're just too damn hot. No, planes can't get up when it's that hot because the air is too thin.
Ah. See,
it's science.
Stupid planes.
Stupid planes can't handle shit.
You guys been making planes for like 100 years and you still can't get this fixed? What's wrong with you?
Come on. So yeah, we survived.
Yeah, so we're surviving that. Today was also a really good day because we had a couple of guests that you're going to see on Thursday's video drop. We had Dawn Penance Thacker and we had Dawn. I said Dawn.
You did Beth. Again.
I'm sorry, and Beth Lewis. I keep saying Dawn Lewis because we're thinking about a different world. The actress. But no. We had Beth and Dawn here, and they did a really good review on the SOS, the Save Our Schools.
Look, you guys, you got to watch it because these women are really making a difference right now. They are putting themselves out in the lawn, like really putting themselves out in the community to make some changes happen.
Yeah, and those differences are going to really make, I guess those changes are going to make a big difference, especially come 2018. But watch for the video on Thursday. It's going to drop then, and we're going to be able to see them live. So what's going on in this one? This one's going to have a couple nice little topics.
We're going to talk a little bit about, we just jammed our weekend with a Netflix weekend of Orange is the New Black.
So we're going to talk about Orange is the New Black, this new season, in case you haven't seen it. We're going to try not to give any spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, too bad. The next one is?
Cyber stalking your significant other. Have you done it?
Have you ever done that? You ever cyber stalk them, huh? You Google it. You Google your significant other.
What'd you do?
Stalker.
What'd you do?
I swear they've made movies about this. And then, of course, our main topic is going to be how has white privilege oppressed people of color. So, we can get a little controversial over here, but, some of the people who say that they don't like political correctness, we can get into that.
Then let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's get up on this. So, let's talk about Orange is the New Black.
Well, okay, the new season starts with
where the last season left off.
Yeah, where the last season left off with, and for those who haven't seen it yet, oh well, cover your ears. Last season ended with the death of a beloved character.
Yeah. Man, look, it's season 3, or season 5, whatever. So, pousse, too bad. Okay,
like,
if you haven't seen it, then
spoiler.
too bad. Spoiler my ass. If you didn't see it for the last year, that's your problem. Okay.
And then, from the result of that same day when she died, then a riot happened.
Yeah, so a riot had happened after that, and one of the guards, some of the guards were really assholes towards the inmates over at the fictional Litchfield Women's Penitentiary, where he had brought in a gun, which you're not supposed to do. So he had a gun in there. They overpowered him during a riot because of overpousse and just a whole bunch of nonsense. And that's where it continued, where one of the characters had the gun pointed at his head and didn't know what to do. So we're talking about an inmate now has a gun during a riot towards one of the guards. So all hell is breaking loose this season.
It started off just from that scene. And it really, what you see then is this change of power. That seemed to be the common theme throughout the entire season, the shifting of power. Now all of a sudden, the inmates have the gun. The inmates have the power. So they then switch it up and take over the entire prison, and it's chaos.
And it's funny how much power a gun has. So when you think about it, you're in a society where the person with the most powerful weapon is the one who is the boss. They're the one who is in charge. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that old movie back in the day. I think it was in the 90s or late 80s, but I think it was the early 90s, Juice, starring
damn, you go
Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur. But it was the same thing where, Bishop, Tupac's character, he had gotten a gun, and Raheem and stealing all them, and Q, God, now it's really come back. They were fearing him because now he had the power, and the power was like he can kill any one of them, and of course he did. So with this one, the gun was in the power of the one of the inmates, and once she had it, that was it. Like, she was the boss. I mean, you started hearing words like Jefe and things like that. That was Dayanara.
Daya, that's
Daya.
it. It was
So Daya
Daya that had the gun. From there, then you see the other inmates take hostage of the other
guards,
the guards,
and the warden,
the warden. And then one of the corporate prison employees was in the bathroom at the prison at the time to conduct a meeting. She gets stuck in all of this and has to then switch up and live a life as an inmate.
Yeah, so she had to assume the inmate identity, make up a whole persona, and a couple of the inmates were helping her out a little bit. In order to try to, I guess, blend in so that she didn't get caught in the crossfire, but, eventually.
As a result, she got to see what her decisions on a corporate end have affected these inmates.
And that was cool because she was in charge of purchasing. So, they really made an example of where, look at these pillows, look at this food, all this other stuff was because of her, but now she got to live as an inmate, which you really wish a lot of the people who have these, I guess, prison for profits and you really just finance all of these and run them, and they treat human beings as slaves for their own pockets. You wish that they can actually be thrown into their own prison system to find out what it is and what effect they have on the human psyche. And a lot of these girls in this whole Orange is the New Black series is like all they want to do is survive, but it's what you survive with. And it like above all the comedy and all the crazy situations, there's always a lesson inside of this show, and that's what I really like about it.
Right. Just because you have the power, does that make you right?
And what's funny is, like, the warden, he's almost walks a tight line about it because he wants to help the girls, but still, you're the warden. There are certain things you can do, but then he gets his power pulled a lot of times. And one of them, literally, from sex, because his power is pulled that way. But then when they finally have a bargaining chip with the inmates, at the end, it's like, damn.
Did you have a favorite character this season? Like one character that just shined?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what?
We got 15 seconds.
I know, but that's all right. We'll go over a little bit. God, what's her name? I'll tell you who. Keep going. I'll tell you who I like. But go on.
For me, it was Red.
Red,
that character, she shined because there was a different vulnerability that was shown about her.
You know who I like? I like Gloria because she was really trying to do right by her kid.
Oh, that's right,
like I think she was probably my favorite color because the heartstrings toward her because she really had a mission and it was in good kindness, and she always in every season tries to balance out. She's like the mother hen towards a lot of the girls. So I like her.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so she's my favorite.
So go see it, guys.
Yeah, go see it.
Just dedicate
Netflix.
A weekend.
Yeah, just check it out and catch up on all the other old episodes too. All right, let's get into it.
So
this one's yours. What's up?
Cyber stalking your significant other. Now, when you're in a relationship, ladies, gentlemen, do you cyber stalk the person you're with? Do you follow their Facebook? I get it if you want to see current events, current stuff that they post that pops up on your timeline. I get it. But do you go way back prior to the years when you didn't even know them? That you didn't even know they were on the planet?
Here's my thing. Even still, let's even go back. I can understand people who cyberstalk sort of before they go and start a date, like a first date with that person. I can see if
that
you're
I get.
Because there are people nowadays who wind up doing crazy stuff, and you're like, you know what, let me just check and see if this person... is good around my kids, is this someone I want,
Why are they
Google
posting
search.
A picture with a selfie and an AK-47?
Yeah, exactly. No, usually that's in their dating profile picture, but you get that off the... When I was doing that, when I was dating hard online, boy, I'd see something like, no, posing with like a dead deer, like, no.
Oh, that's so sexy.
God, you wouldn't believe it. And the funny thing is, you only see that out here. Like, I swear, when I was in Jersey or New York.
I know how many guys I would get pictures of that were like, I would look up their Facebook that I would meet online, and they would be on a motorcycle.
Motorcycle. What did you say, posing next to the car? Did you ever see that one?
Yes. I was like, shut up, that ain't your car.
I was like, what are you doing?
You went to Barrett Jackson and then just
like, why are you posing with someone else's cars? Anyway.
I don't care if you have a motorcycle.
Jesus Christ, so what? God. Anyway, cyber stalking somebody. So after all that point, you wind up dating the person. So you're like, okay, they're clean. But then you start going through their shit. Okay, let me go through. Okay, now I'm in 2013.
When you didn't even know they were walking the planet. And my thing is, you can't get mad at what you see. Because that's what their life was at that time. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, anything that they used, you can't get mad at that. Because, again, that's what their life was like at the time. Just like they have no right to say anything to you either.
And think about that. How many of you listening have done that? You've gone on Facebook, you dug a search for, let me see this. I'm going to go scroll. I don't even know. I swear on everything. If it wasn't for Facebook memories or whatever it is, I wouldn't know that came up. Something came up today. I'm like, oh, shoot, really? I didn't know that. But some stalker-ass, girlfriend might go through it. Now, here's the funny thing is, it doesn't even have to be a significant other now that I'm talking about it. Because there have been people who have been your quote-unquote friends or friend you, and then all of a sudden have you ever seen like a like? From like a post from deep in
that's creepy. I have, where I'm like, what
deep
is
in the,
that?
In the bowels of Facebook.
My hair color was different.
Like everything. Like I had an afro, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, do you know how many pictures you had to go through to find that?
Oh, that's so true.
I've had a bunch of those. I'm like, all right, cool. That's when you know you're stalking.
Yeah, you're like,
you are digging so deep, and you want me to know that you're digging deep because I'm gonna get an alert. And it's gonna pop up to the top. Like who resurrected this old shit?
Right. Why are you liking a picture of a concert that I attended like 4 years
come
ago?
On. You want me to be like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Talk to me about that. But no. If it's something like that, I'm not doing any research on somebody who I'm currently dating. That's just just counterproductive to me. It's like, whatever you find, if you get upset at it, you made yourself upset.
I mean, what can you do? You did not know them. How can you blame them for anything? If there was something current, that's different because you're in that relationship or you're in that situation. But from don't get mad if there's pictures of him and the baby mama from 5 years ago. That's what they had. That's what was going on. That had nothing to do with you.
Not a damn thing.
And same thing with guys, because guys get shitty about this too. Like, look, don't get mad if she's in the picture with her baby daddy or her ex.
Guys aren't exempt. They're not exempt.
It's like, don't get mad at her. Yeah. Oh, my God. She was not a virgin when you met her. Get over it.
But they think they are.
Please listen carefully.
Once again, make sure you listen to the Zod and Drea podcast by subscribing to one of the following podcast methods: iTunes, Google Play, or YouTube. Visit our website at www.zodanddrea.com to go directly to the links, or if you choose, you can listen to each podcast episode directly on the website under their individual posts.
Want to get involved and have your voice heard on the next podcast? Then be sure to tune in to the question of the week on our website, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram page. And dial in and leave a message on our voicemail at 323-963-4221.
If you're an advertiser who would like to have your 30-second or 1-minute placement on our podcast or YouTube episode, please contact us at info@zodanddrea.com and we'll send you a price list. Space is limited for each episode.
The next podcast might even have you as a featured guest.
Tune in, check us out, and get involved.
All right, people, we're back.
We are back. All right, let's talk about this.
All right, let's get into this. Again, so we're going to talk how has white privilege oppressed people of color? So you asked a question.
Well, let's first define what is white privilege.
Okay, so and then
I can't talk white privilege.
White privilege. What is white privilege, Negro? Hey, Mexican, what is that white privilege?
And why do you have it?
White privilege is something that it's almost an invisible thing that happens, but if you open your eyes enough to it, you will see it. It comes in a variety of flavors, but they're all white.
Is it an unspoken power, like an assumed power?
And it is, sort of. It's assumed. It's almost both. It's something that some people are aware of who have it, and they wield it for evil, and some who have it and they use it for good. Most people will use it for evil or in order for them to get ahead in life. And that's what I've seen a lot of. So, for instance, they know that if they go for that job, there's a big job at a corporate environment, and they have a great stellar resume, and let's say a black person has a resume also, okay? The one thing that a black person has never really had to think about is, oh, you know what, that white guy got that because of a quota. Like, you've never heard a black person say, hey, no, it's almost like I have to succeed and be twice as hard and interview twice as well smart. And be in order for me to get that job, because in the corporate environment, things like that, you're going to wind up seeing more white people in there because, you know, are they technically the smartest ones there? Maybe some of them are. But if they had opened up the floodgates to a lot of the black students or the brown students, they will notice that no, a lot of them who are in those positions are not the smartest in the room. But geez, like, I'm not saying that she's not smart. You know, she is smart. But like, let's take who's the Meyer woman, Marissa Meyer from Yahoo. You know, was she really the best person for that job? I don't know. You know, she was good in Google, for what she did. I think on Google Maps and whatever. But to head Yahoo was a whole different ballgame. But you know, they saw her like, okay, cool. You know, would you get someone named, you know, Demetra in there? Who knows? You know, Demetra.
It was already rare for a woman to even be in that position in the technology industry.
But they're going to trust a white woman more. It's almost like you're going to see Hillary Clinton, because of white privilege, you're going to see Hillary Clinton in her position more than you will when Shirley Chisholm tried to run. You know, Shirley Chisholm tried to run back in the 70s, a black woman, and of course she got, you know, stomped out. But you're not going to see that position. Like, on a scale, you're going to see white men in most positions of power because of their color, their privilege, and you're going to see less of a black woman in that same type of, you know, privileged position, much less. And people will try to argue and say things like, you know, oh, you know, you're black, so, you know, look at all the privilege you get. You get the quotas, and you get. It's like, do you know why quotas are even put in there?
To even be allowed to even play in the same sandbox.
Just to so if you think that that's privilege, like, that's because you think your rights are being taken away. Like, as white people are losing more power, like they're so accustomed, like that meme, they're so accustomed to privilege that they don't know what equality is. You know, to them, equality is them being, you know, oppressed. It's like, oh, God, why do they put a black person in? Don't they know us white people? Like, what are you talking about? It's like that one woman who went all the way to the Supreme Court saying, oh, she didn't get a fair shot because she was white. God, what was her name? She looks like Chucky. I forgot what her freaking name is.
Which college was it?
Oh, I forgot what it is. Yeah, but it's because, no, your grades sucked. They put her grades up against all these other people. It's like, what are you talking about? Your grades were terrible. And she actually went to the Supreme Court with this. I'm sure Clarence Thomas probably voted for her. But it's white privilege is one of those things where, she used it for evil. She thought that she should have gotten into a position when she didn't have the grades.
An assumption, yeah.
And that's because she's assuming other people, Latinos and black people of color who are in their positions, also only got there because of their skin color. It's like, no. They got there because of their grades, and they have incredible grades. Nobody is going to downplay, you know, the position inside of their company or their organization, their school, just because of a color. If you come in, it's like, oh, well, look at all these white guys. Trust me. My sister went to Yale. Now, she got in because of her grades in high school. So she got in because of there. But I will bet you that she had way better grades in high school going into Yale than a lot of other students, white students that are in Yale, because of their legacy. Because, oh, daddy went there. I mean, George Bush got C's. Yeah, he was a C student. I mean, yeah, that's passing.
Yeah, he even admitted he was a crappy student.
Yeah, he was crappy, did coke, whatever, but he got in there because of his dad. So that means their white privilege was used to fill that slot when he could have gone to another college. He didn't have to go to an Ivy League if that's not where his grades were, but he took someone else's spot, and that spot could have easily been, DeMarcus or somebody. You know, it could have been.
No, I don't know. And I don't know for myself in the corporate environment. I lost count of how many times I got oh, wow, you were invited to this meeting? Oh, wow, you have this position?
Yeah, like, why the shock?
Wow, yeah. Yeah, I have this position because I worked my ass off. Right, and I had to do better than Mitzi and Titsy over here because they just got the job because of, again, their privilege, but I had to work twice or three times as hard. So damn right I'm in this meeting. Damn right I have this position, and it just gets to a point where you're like, I don't even, like, you just don't even want to even talk about it anymore or defend yourself. But you're constantly defending yourself.
But it's like I was saying before. It's like being in Hollywood. When I was talking about Hollywood, and there hasn't been a white person that has looked at a Hollywood screen and said, "Oh my God, so many movies where I'm not being represented. Where are the white people? What the hell? Why am I not being represented up on the screen?" It's like you hear that from black people, Latinos, and Asians. Especially
why does that Latino
Asians.
actor have white face on?
Yeah, especially Asians. They've been getting it hard. Asians have been getting it hard.
Right.
Where white people have been taking. First of all, they take the Asian man's girlfriend, and then they go to Hollywood and either play him. I mean, he gets it pretty rough, and they're using the white privilege to be like not one person has said that. Like, people of color will look at theaters and like, oh God, I got to go to this movie where the large majority is white people. I mean, how many white saviors have we had? We've had Tarzan.
Charlton Heston.
In the middle of Africa, okay? We got a white guy in the middle of Africa, okay? Loincloth, talking to monkeys, and is black people listening to him with spears? Mm-hmm. Like, are you serious? Like, who made this? Who thought that was a good idea?
Or in Egypt.
Oh my God. And here goes, like, white privilege is being able to have an Egyptian character who's pure white, and they're the gods and whatever, and they're like they straight up looking Nordic, and these are the friggin' gods of Egypt, and nobody questioning. White privilege is opening up a Bible and being like, oh, here's Jesus, who looks like he straight came from Germany,
like Odin's son,
like and not questioning it, and not even questioning it. But then as soon as you see a black Jesus or a black Santa, it's like, you know what? What is this shit? What is this? I mean, people complained about Black Santa. No, Santa's real. Santa's white. It's Santa Claus. Like, you guys would be pissed off if we had a brown Easter bunny. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously. Like, white privilege goes that deep. And a lot of people don't even know it.
Right. And actually, it's a paganist holiday. I mean, Santa and all of these characters were actually pagan, but that's a whole other topic to go into. So
yeah, I mean, I don't care if they're pagan or not. Like, shit.
But it's like to tie it to God. It's like, wait a second, no, it's not. Jesus is not Santa Claus.
Man, I don't even want to get into all that. But like, some of the silliness that you have is there's a video. I don't know if you've seen this meme video, and I love this. This is like white privilege, but it's one of my favorite videos. But it's funny. Because people don't understand how we, as people of color, have to adhere to the world of white people and not vice versa. When white people do it, they appropriate it. When we do it, it's actually for survival. It's something that we have to do. For instance, you go to English class, whatever. We're not learning Swahili. We're learning English. We have to learn, the English language, and whatever, and we go to school for this. We're pledging allegiance to a flag that we didn't have anything to do with. Like, white people don't think about that. That's patriotism. That's the country. That's the way it is. What say do people of color had, like, what say did they have in making the Pledge of Allegiance, making the flag, making the Declaration of Independence, making the Constitution? What laws did people of color have, even ratifying slavery? Like, even some of these, where were we at the table? Mm-hmm. Everything is always assumed to be, oh, well, it's equal. It's equality. But when you never had a voice in that equality, then how equal is it? Where do you wind up being? We were talking about...
And why should you grant it to me?
Yeah, who are you to grant it to me?
Who are you?
First of all, it should be my alienated right. Like, it's my right. Mm-hmm. It's my right as a citizen. So why am I fighting for my rights? The same rights you should be giving me anyway. And
right.
why am I even fighting you for rights that means you're in control of these rights.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the white privilege goes really deep in this. It goes deep. It's like, but a lot of people who have the privilege, they don't know that they have it, and so they argue about races.
And it's this
issues.
generational conversation that's been embedded really in their minds since birth, not knowing that what you've been taught has been to oppress. So it's not saying, again, going back to like what you said, not every white person's bad. Of course, you now realize you have a power, so use your power for good.
Last week we talked about Bill Maher and him using house nigga, comfortably
Good
on
God.
his show.
And other people were laughing.
And other people were laughing. The white privilege in that, and the fact that they were laughing, they were sitting there as standbyers, they laughed. He felt comfortable enough to say it because he was like, I'm white. I can just say this shit. Like, what makes you think you can say that? You guys have oppressed a whole bunch of people for generations, and all of a sudden you think that you're just buddy-buddy with us? That you can just join in like that? What, for more oppression? You think that we find that funny from somebody like that? Like I was talking about with the guy from Starbucks, the shooter, how he was sitting there calling these people all these racial names over in, where was it, Chicago, I think.
Yeah.
And the white people that were sitting outside of Starbucks were saying nothing. They were just watching. They were just watching because a lot of people with this privilege watch. They just look. They observe. They put nothing into stopping it. And that's a lot of them. A lot of them will deny that it exists. Oh, there's no white privilege. It exists. You know, like someone said, you know, you'll believe in Jesus, Santa Claus, and aliens, and UFOs, but you won't even believe in white privilege.
Mm-hmm. Or like that, what was that? Oh, that older white lady from, I think it was Midwest. They was videotaping her at the Walmart, right? So she was in line at in one of the rows, right? And this Latina woman was asking her to scoot aside so she could get something from the aisle that the lady's cart was blocking. And all of a sudden, this white old lady rips into her and starts saying, "Go back to your country. Get out of my country, you spick," and calling her all kinds of names.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
a woman of color, another woman of color, shows up to defend her, and they're going up against this white lady. And this white lady's calling everybody every kind of awful name possible. These two women, just because she's blocking part of the aisle where someone wants to purchase something. What was interesting to see, though, the manager of the Walmart, this little skinny little white boy, comes around and tells the old lady to leave. And she thought he was coming to defend her. And he's on videotape like, "Nope, get out of this store. You're disrespecting my client, the customers. Get out." But this woman, you would say what? She was probably in her mid-70s. Like, what? She felt she had the right to talk like that to people.
And there's a lot of them in this climate now who feel like their racism is coming out and they're just hating Muslims and blacks and Latinos, and they're just feeling they don't care the camera's in their face. They're just winding up saying all kinds like I'm white and what? You know, the cops aren't going to stop me. I'm going to get a job. I'm still going to get a loan. You're not. I mean, you know, one of the insults I've heard people is like, hey, you know what? I'm still going to do this and you're still going to be black. Like, they know they're privileged. They know it. One of the best is Jane Elliott when she asked a whole bunch of white people, a crowd of white people, if society is so bad on you, whatever, how many people would want to switch places with a black person? And, nobody raises their hand. It's like she says, I'm going to ask the question again. How many of you, knowing how black people are treated in America, would want to trade places with black people? Not one person raised their hand. And she says, well, then you know that the problem exists, but none of you want to do anything to stop it. And that's that privilege. Like, she will, I love Jane Elliott. Look her up on YouTube if you've never seen her. But she pretty much just put it right there in their faces as into their privilege and how they don't use it except for themselves. So they know it exists. They know there's a racial problem in America, and they do nothing.
How do you encourage those that are white that do want to do something?
Now, those people, they have to use their privilege. There's a really good story you can find on YouTube. If you look it up, look up white privilege grocery store. And look up how the one woman it's funny because she's actually black. She's just really light-skinned and looks white. Had to defend her sister, who does look black. And she used her white privilege in order to get everything there calmed at a grocery store. And when she noticed it's an amazing story, but you can actually use your white privilege to do good. And, we hope people do. Like, we didn't even get into the criminal statistics of, like, Ethan Couch or Brock Turner getting, like, no, when you're white, you have a lot of benefits. Like that card is good.
So start using the card for good.
Yeah, use it for good instead of for selfish needs. But anyway, this is Zod and Drea, man. Make sure you check us out. Where can they check us out?
On Facebook, on Snapchat. Instagram, YouTube,
Twitter.
You name it. We are everywhere. And check out our Thursday episode.
Our Thursday episode is going to be with Dawn Thackett. But that is her name. Is that she's like Penance Thacker. So Dawn Penance Thacker and Beth Lewis, where we talked about Save Our School. So that's gonna be a really good episode.
Right. And we've got a lot of stuff going on for season 2. So can't wait to show you guys.
Season 2, baby. All right.
Bye.
Take it easy.